Hello, witches, and welcome back to another EA house renovation in The Sims 4. My name is Luca, and today I am renovating the Bedlington Boathouse. This is a starter home that came with the Brindleton Bay world that came with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack. This home here, y'all, I'm just gonna be honest, it's pretty bad. I'm just saying right now, it's too big, it's too bulky. I moved a sim in, not in this save, but we'll be jumping to the other save once I do the voiceover. But basically, I moved a sim in, and he had 700 simoleons left, which is already weird because most starter homes, they have at least 1,000 or so. This one was just so expensive. I'll go ahead and show you the house itself. So we have a really big bulky front porch here, no railing on the stairs, of course. We have a very awkwardly placed and laid out floor plan. First of all, I don't understand why there's just a bathroom randomly here. It would have made more sense behind the stairs. And also, why is the dining room like in this awkward corner of the home, and there's this like wall here and this big staircase? It's honestly, I'm gonna be honest, it's the worst home I've ever seen. I know I renovated the EA houses in the Realm of Magic world, Glimmerbrook. This doesn't compare. This is much worse. I'm just being honest. The upstairs is fine. It's okay. It's kind of dark, but they have these dang lights again. These just shine down directly and like they just make the house seem so much darker. So yeah, I really am not a big fan of this house. So I'm just going to be honest. I broke my rules in that I don't move the walls around and everything. I made this house so much smaller. I made it so much smaller, but I tried to keep the essence of Brindleton? No, of Bedlington. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into the renovation. So here we are at the beginning of this renovation, and boy, was I in over my head. Did I think that I was going to be able to make this home successfully without making any changes to the walls? I thought I was going to be able to, and boy, was I wrong. In the beginning, though, I was pretty hopeful because I made the porch up front smaller, and I had, almost 2,000 simoleons left. I was like, okay, maybe this is something I can work with, and I definitely say, yeah, I did. And I could have went without it. But it was, oh my goodness, this house was something, y'all. It was difficult. I had so many issues with it because also the wall heights were too high. They were medium wall heights. And you know how I am. I can't stand it whenever medium wall heights and tall wall heights are used for starter homes because it makes it seem so much more empty because it makes the house bigger and it makes the room seem smaller. And it's just, I don't know, it's awkward proportions that don't make sense. I also moved the staircase. They had a really wide staircase inside. I, again, don't know why. So I made it smaller, made it one tile wide, and that definitely improved quite a bit. I did have to make some adjustments with it even more later on. Don't worry. That's how it is throughout this entire build, is that I constantly make it smaller and smaller because I desperately just needed more simoleons, because the bigger a house is, the more money you're using on walls, the more money you're using on wallpaper and flooring, but also there's not as much space to decorate. You don't have as much space or you have too much space to decorate. That's what I meant. You have to look at how big the living room was going to be. Can we talk about that? That is so much room. And I understand that starter homes are meant to be the very beginnings. They're meant to be the beginnings of a new home, and you're supposed to be able to have all the space in the world to make it your own. But y'all, there is there was too much. We all remember the starter home from Glimmerbrook, right? That home, it definitely had some charm. It definitely had some issues, but it was actually not as bad as this one. I never really paid much attention to this home because it's the Bedlington Boathouse. It's kind of cute. It's kind of charming. Another thing about this home that I was really confused by, not just from the decoration and the execution, there were I'm talking zero landscaping outside. There wasn't any terrain paint. There wasn't any flowers, bushes, nothing. There wasn't a tree. It was just completely empty. And yeah, the surrounding area from around the lot is pretty lush, so it kind of keeps it from seeming so. But I noticed that and I was like, oh, there's nothing here. There's no landscaping. That just made it seem way more like rushed. I think this was one of the worst homes I've seen in The Sims 4. I'm just going to be honest. And I've renovated the Spencer Kim Lewis house. Remember that? You saw that? I hope you did. Please check it out if you haven't already. I loved doing that house, actually. It was one of the homes that I really, really dreaded, honestly. And this was the opposite. I was really looking forward to renovating this home. And then when I realized how expensive it was, I was like, oh, wow. So, but I will say, after all of that, I do really like this house. I think that it came out looking a lot nicer. I kept it pretty simple in execution, and I also try to keep it in spirit of the floor plan. I did swap the rooms around a little bit, so maybe not, but it's reminiscent. It's sort of there, not really. The roof shape is very interesting. I did have to make a lot of adjustments to the size, but I kept the roof shape fairly similar. If you were to give it a glance, you're like, oh yeah, that's Bedlington Boathouse. If you're an avid simmer, which you probably are, if you're an avid simmer and you recognize this home when you see it, you'll probably recognize the renovation that I did pretty well. I did a lot of adjustments, a lot of moving around until it made sense. And the back of the house definitely got some changes as well too. And I was able to make it 2 bedrooms. So theoretically, if you were to move in a family, like a family of 3, which is this home is perfect for, you would actually have some extra simoleons left. So there you go. That's the goal, though, is to have at least a couple thousand, right? Because when it's a starter home, you want to have a little bit of money so that your Sims can maybe buy some stuff for themselves, for like skill building or just for making it more their own home. Or you can have the money to possibly add on something that you need for the family. But in this case, if you moved in just a single sim into this home, which this is pretty much being built for, at least originally, they're only going to have 700 simoleons, which is not terrible, but it's not a lot. So not a lot of room for growth there. So I think that's one thing that whenever you build a starter home, my biggest tip is don't try to keep it under 20,000. Yes, you should, depending on what you're going for. But say you're building a starter home for a single sim and you have, 20,000 simoleons left. Now, if you're building it specifically for a sim, that's different. But if you're just building it just to build a starter home, I would recommend setting your budget to 18,000, not 20,000, because 18,000 would be a little bit more room for error, room for growth, and it just makes it so that the starter home is like a true starter home. And in this case, at least, I aimed for you only using 20,000, but since it's a 3-bedroom, you can move in a family of 3, and then you would have 24,000 to start with, and so you'd probably have at least a couple thousand left. Hopefully, I really do, because my sim had 5 simoleons left. Not gonna lie, they literally had 5 simoleons left after renovating this home, and it wasn't even that I was trying to make it like this was the best case scenario too. I maybe could have removed a couple of the cabinets there in the kitchen. I could have probably, not done so many walls. That's probably more of a critique on my part. But I was trying to just make it functional in a way that also was fun to play in. And I don't like having just one counter space in a kitchen because that drives me absolutely crazy. But see, I did make the upstairs kind of awkward. I'm not going to lie. It is a little bit awkward up here, but it works out. It works out. There's still 2 bedrooms. It's just a simple, very, very simply furnished master bedroom with a small bedroom for like a kid or a teenager possibly. I don't know, it's just a simple little bedroom. Actually, it's more kid oriented. It has a toy box in it, so at least there's something for the kid to do, right? But that's also something about this home that I really regret, is that there isn't really any skill building items in this home at all. Like, I was only really able to afford a TV. You could possibly get rid of the TV and then maybe put in like an easel or a couple garden planters or something like that. But yeah, it's a pretty basic starter home at the end of the day. But I don't hate it. It looks really cute. I made it all white. I went with a cheaper brick than because the brick was cheaper than the siding, and so that saved me a few simoleons there. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, it came out pretty cute in the end. I'm not mad about it. I know I was ragging on the original home, but I kind of like it when the homes are ugly. Not gonna lie, it makes the transformation even better. Like, it makes it more fun because, like, why would you want to renovate a really nice looking home? Like, come on, like, a nice looking home is already nice. Let's take a really not so great looking home and make it better. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my favorite part. I think it's just dopamine or something, but I really just like seeing like the transformation of something, and it's very, very satisfying. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I have been really, really enjoying this series. If there are any other EA homes that you would like for me to renovate, please let me know in the comments down below. It would be very appreciated. I know some people have been commenting the pancakes house, and I absolutely am going to. It's just a bit intimidating because it's very big and very awkward. But I am excited to do it nonetheless because I'm actually going to put my own storyline twist on it. So I'm going to make it Eliza's house because Bob moved out because he's done with her, right? I did that tiny home build for Bob Pancakes, so couldn't resist a little bit of drama. Here I am once again making the house even smaller because why not, right? And I think at the end though it worked out, and I do like the floor plan. It was a lot of fun to do this, but yeah, just let me know in the comments what other builds you would like for me to do. Just know that these are limited packs, so this home only contains base game and cats and dogs, just because it is a starter home that came with the expansion pack. So I did include cats and dogs as well, and any other EA house renovations will be in that format, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Do let me know in the comments down below, and also if you got to this part of the video, why don't you comment boathouse? I don't know, just a little fun little boathouse, Anyways, I love you all. Take care of yourselves today. Make sure you're drinking some water. Make sure you take your vitamins. Eat a bowl of cereal. I'm going to be honest right now. Eat you a bowl of cereal if you can, because they have so many vitamins and minerals in them. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I looked at the cereal that I ate this morning, had 90% of the vitamin B12 that I needed today. Isn't that wild? It's either that or it's the caffeine making me this unhinged today. But anyways, I love you all. That's everything. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I will speak to you all next time. Goodbye, witches.